Listening is an act of love. Thank you. You can help lift up the voices, stories, and challenges we share by making a contribution at ThisWayOut.org.
A sincere thank you to all of you who already support This Way Out. Your support matters.
I'm Joe Bainline.
And I'm Tanya Kane-Perry.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending March 5th, 2022. In Singapore, it's once more with feeling as the law against gay male sex prevails in court. But this time, the feeling is slightly better to some. The city-state's 5-judge Court of Appeal dismissed the latest challenge to Penal Code Section 377A on February 28th, upholding the High Court's ruling in 2020. 377A is a holdover from British colonial rule enacted in 1938. It criminalizes private consensual adult sex between men and carries a penalty of 2 years in prison. The Court of Appeal deferred any changes in the law to Parliament while reasoning that it is unenforceable. Therefore, the justices concluded that the 3 activists who challenged the High Court decision do not face any real and credible threat of prosecution. In other words, since no one's being prosecuted for gay sex, leaving things as they are is okay. The organizers of Singapore's annual LGBTQ supportive Pink Dot gathering don't think it's okay. They called the court's assurance that the law is not enforceable cold comfort because they said Section 377A's real impact lies in how it perpetuates discrimination across every aspect of life, at home, in schools, in the workplace, in our media, and even access to vital services like healthcare. Thousands attend Pink Dot every year, and the crowds are growing. However, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong defends keeping 377A on the books because he says Singaporeans are not that liberal on these matters. Queer activists and their allies vow to continue to fight for repeal.
Colombia's constitutional court ruled this week that people should have the option to identify as non-binary on official government documents. The decision supported a 40-year-old Colombian who was assigned male at birth and began transitioning at the age of 20. Dani Garcia changed their name in 2015. Garcia tried to get the gender marker on their government ID changed to Indeterminate, but the National Registry rejected that request in 2019. The court ordered the registry to issue Garcia a new ID with a non-binary gender designation. The March 1st ruling called the introduction of a third gender option an initial step towards effective social participation for countless trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming Colombians. This advance follows a similar move last week in Mexico. A non-binary law student there got a judge to authorize an official change of the gender marker on their birth certificate.
It's been months since lawmakers in Yucatan, Mexico, amended the state constitution to establish marriage equality, but they had to modify related existing laws before lesbian and gay couples could begin walking down the aisle. That work is done, and publication in the Government Gazette on March 3rd made it official. Yucatan is the 25th of Mexico's 31 states to gain marriage equality. A 2015 ruling by the Supreme Court of Justice of the nation called denying civil marriage to same-gender couples a violation of the Constitution. However, the court could only order each state to deal with the matter on its own. The Federal District of Mexico City had already enacted marriage equality in 2009. 18 states did it legislatively. 4 states have marriage equality because of court rulings. In 2 states, the executive branch stopped enforcement of the state's ban. 1 state decided it never had a ban on the books in the first place.
His problematic religious discrimination bill has collapsed again. So, Australia's evangelical Christian Prime Minister is turning on young transgender athletes. Scott Morrison praised a proposal by Tasmanian Liberal Party Senator Claire Chandler to clarify that athletic competition based only on biological sex is entirely legal and does not discriminate. Chandler's amendment to the Sex Discrimination Act is terrific, in Morrison's opinion. He said he's given her great encouragement for her so-called Save Women's Sports Bill. Human rights groups like Equality Australia have a different perspective. Their media statement called on lawmakers to stand with trans kids and reject Chandler's cruel and divisive bill. The proposal will likely be all talk until after national elections in May. Equality Tasmania's Dr. Charlie Burton condemned Morrison for using trans people as a political football. He said, "We completely reject the cynical abuse of trans people as a weapon in the Prime Minister's political and electoral game playing." Save Women's Sports Bill proponents predict easy passage in Parliament. However, 5 Liberal Party members of Morrison's coalition government crossed the floor to sink his religious discrimination bill precisely because of its discriminatory provisions targeting trans, non-binary, and non-conforming youth.
Finally, who would censor Friends? The wildly popular TV sitcom still flourishes in reruns around the world, even in China, where it had been available to stream online until 2018. Now the government is cracking down on popular media, and in re-release, it's not so friendly to the show's queer characters. Fans familiar with the series are howling about the disappearance of friend Ross's ex-wife Carol and her lesbian partner. Even the show's LGBTQ references have been deleted or mistranslated. Major Chinese streaming sites like Tencent, Baidu's iQIYI Incorporated, Alibaba's Youku, and Bilibili started showing a laundered version of the first season in February. The missing elements are noticeable to many viewers because the show gained an extensive fan base in China in the 1990s through pirated DVDs or downloads. In recent years, China has shut down tens of thousands of websites and social media accounts, many with queer content. Authorities claimed they contained illegal content as well as vulgar and pornographic material. Even references by friend Joey to go out to a strip club have been translated as "let's go out to play." Chinese President Xi Jinping ushered in a blanket ban on queer portrayals on television in 2016. Last year, the government's TV ban was extended to what it called sissy men. Posts and comments with related hashtags about the censorship have earned tens of millions of views, trending on China's leading social media platform, Weibo. One user complained, "Covering your mouth and ears does not mean non-existent." Another wondered how the censors would handle a storyline in later seasons that has friend Phoebe birthing triplets as a surrogate for her brother and his partner.
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude, for the week ending March 5th, 2022. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Help keep us in ears around the world at ThisWayOut.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm Joe Bainline. Stay healthy.
And I'm Tanya Kane Perry. Stay safe.
This Way Out delivers LGBTQ news and culture to more than 150 local communities on radio stations around the world, and we are also a free online news service. You can choose your favorite way to listen, online or on the air, at thiswayout.org. Please sign up for our free e-newsletter, Inside This Way Out. We will respect your trust in us and make sure your personal information is never shared with others.
Just send us an email at info@thiswayout.org to receive the informative and unique addition to the show. You'll be invited to join us for a more in-depth look into our stories and be encouraged to learn more about This Way Out's 3 decades of broadcast activism.
We hope you choose to join us in celebration of LGBTQ history and culture. Email us at info@thiswayout.org to join the movement.
We'll make sure you always know what's going on inside This Way Out.